Hi, it's Hans at ahappierman.com. Today's topic is ideas that hurt men. Oh man, I just think if you just study the way the world is, open your eyes, open your ears, open your mind, you'll see that most ideas that are floating around are mostly built to hurt us men and by default everyone else. So there's so many ideas that hurt us. It's almost like there's hardly any that help us. So that's why you want to always be skeptical of anything that's presented, because it's probably meant to keep you down, to keep you in your place, to keep you from taking something from someone else, right? So the ideas are always promulgated, right? That's another nice word for you. Started by someone who's probably at the top or aspiring to get to the top, and they would want to eliminate the competition and climb their way over others or stay at the top. So once you get that in your mind, everything else kind of says, oh man, yeah, obviously a king doesn't want everyone he's ruling over to think that they should have that chance, and why do we even need this king? And right, everybody at the top is saying, how do I keep the people at the bottom right? So once you start thinking of the world this way, it becomes much more simpler to understand how things are and why things are the way they are, and how to be happy even in spite of the way those things are, because you as a happier man can just know that and just step to the side of the madness. And perhaps you might have to do a little stepping over other men, other people to do that, but that's to be expected. And you probably aren't going to try to wield enormous power over other people. You want to wield enormous power over yourself, in your circumstances, to increase your happiness and increase your abundance and prosperity. But you'll probably do it, I hope, in a cooperative spirit, in a non-aggression, non-hurting other people spirit. So what are some of these ideas that hurt men? Well, collectivism really hurts men. Right now we're in this extreme collectivism idea with the coronavirus, that by your existing and breathing and coughing and sneezing, that you don't have a right to your own breath, and you got to keep your own breath hidden at home, not in front of others. Oh my God, this is like the worst, one of the most destructive collective ideas ever. Feminism, ooh, that's a good one, right? Feminism is designed to keep men down. I think though, if you get right to it, most women are very nice. They didn't think of this evil idea to ruin us. This has been developed by other men to keep most of us under control. Everything is developed by other men to keep most of the men under control. Because men, we're very hard to control, right? Why you don't like to be obeying orders all the time, especially if the orders don't make any sense. That's why when you go into the military, they have to beat every free will idea out of you. And certainly we need a certain amount of military for our protection, but you can't argue that your ideas are going to be beat out of you, verbally and physically and mentally. So the collectivism, the feminism, Maybe just a simple example of an idea that hurts men. The idea that you shouldn't eat meat. That is turning out to be one of the most extreme examples of an idea that is hurting men. And I even heard this as a kid. I'm in my 50s, and even back in the 70s and 80s, that was started to be a thing where you would reduce eating the meat. If you get to it, the meat has always been known to be the healthiest thing for you, and the only reason you would eat vegetables is in leaner times you just don't have enough meat, right? So you would eat something to keep you somewhat nourished, but that was just in times of lean times where the meat is run out, deep in the winter when the hunt doesn't work. You want to have backup, so you always want backup in case you run out of meat, but once you have the meat, you should be eating it. Eating meat is the healthiest thing for you. And it's very hard to eat it because it's deeply ingrained in us to eat enough of it. It's deeply ingrained to not eat it, right? But this has been deeply ingrained as a savings measure. Your parents, when they raised you, they didn't have enough money to give you 2 pounds of steak every day. Mine didn't. Nobody makes that kind of money, right? In a normal family, if you got a bunch of mouths to feed, you don't have enough money for that kind of a high quality diet, right? So you supplement the diet with cheap food. So if you know, so let's say if you're on your own, if you want to get healthy, you're going to eat a lot of meat and not much of everything else. You know it's true, but a different agenda is pushed on us, right? Because the healthier, more satisfied, stronger we are as men, the less control our rulers will have over us, right? If you're eating 2 pounds of steak a day, every day, all year long, and then doing whatever other activities, you're gonna be an extremely in shape, extremely powerful guy that is going to be extremely difficult to control. So the more vegetables and fruits and sugar and carbohydrates and soy that our leaders can get us to eat, the easier we are to control. We'll just be more like docile sheep than powerful men, right? So that idea is it's a simple idea, but if you can get people to obey what you say to eat, it's pretty easy to get them to do almost anything, right? And it's one of the reasons I've always rebelled against religion. I never figured out why the religion should tell me what to eat. Well, Easter time, don't eat meat. There are always these restrictions. Every religion has some sort of a restriction on when you can eat. It makes no sense that they would restrict my health and vitality, does it? So that's a terrible idea that hurts men, is telling you when to eat and what to eat. And that's an enormous idea that hurts men. What to drink, same idea. Men have always used drinking alcohol as a release, as a celebration, as a means to celebrate the change of seasons, the weekend, the game, the hunt, the success of the farming season, whatever, right? It's a way to bond, a camaraderie, to enjoy life. So anytime anybody is restricting what you can drink in terms of alcohol and that type of beverage, that's a way to reduce your happiness. And obviously everybody knows you don't want to be drinking all the time and being a drunk and getting into accidents and ruining your health. But you also don't want to be restricted so much that you don't enjoy that fun and that life-giving element of the drinking. So when they restrict what you can drink, they're restricting your life. And there is a certain amount of drinking that does increase your courage. When you're, let's say, a younger man and you're going out every weekend and you're drinking with your friends, your courage is building up little by little because you're approaching girls and you're getting out of that fear mode. So it's increasing your courage. It's increasing the chances that you're going to have a good love life because you're getting out of the fear. The drinking elevates your bravery in terms of women and just in general of life. And at some point you find you don't even need to drink that much anymore because you've braced yourself, you've built yourself up into the kind of guy that likes to go out and can have a few drinks and let loose and be fun and enjoy yourself. Well, maybe you don't, at some point you don't even need to drink so much that you lose the control that you in the past you may have had to do. So that's a terrible idea that hurts men, is to restrict their drinking. Pretty much anything of a restrictive nature is an idea that hurts men, because we don't like the restrictions. We thrive on, let's say, getting around the restriction. And yes, you do want to be careful and don't get into trouble unnecessarily because you're breaking rules, breaking laws, going against the restriction. You don't want to do that. I'm not suggesting you break laws and do that. I am suggesting that that's part of the fun of having a good life, is occasionally breaking laws that don't make sense to you and getting around some rules and restrictions without hurting anybody. So yeah, I mean, those are like some basic ideas that hurt men. You know, I think if you start with that idea of that doesn't make sense to me. It just seems like that isn't really good for me. You know, that's probably a better mindset. That most things that are parroted on TV and the newspapers, on the internet, and wherever, in just common everyday occurrences, it's probably meant to hurt you. And if you can start with that idea, you're going to be more skeptical and question everything that has to do with making your life worse. So give that idea some thought. Ideas that hurt men. All for now.